Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for hanging with me on this Sunday. Now, braided line, very expensive, but has some properties that you really can't get with other line. If I'm trying to make really long casts with a heavy topwater walking bait, it's going to be braided line. If I'm fishing around a lot of vegetation, not just matted vegetation, but also reeds where I know that braid is going to cut through that grass and get those fish out, it's going to be braided line 100% of the time. But there are also situations where you will get no bites if you're trying to catch fish with braided line. So this is a straight braid or a straight fluorocarbon type of video. And again, very expensive. So you're going to save yourself some money if you are not in the situations where braid is important. And I'm going to go into some specifics because I feel like you'll get a lot of videos that say fluorocarbon around wood, braided line around grass, but it's not that simple because there are times in the grass where I will throw fluorocarbon and there's times in the wood where I do think braid is a better option. So first, guys, I want to thank you for liking these videos. That helps them out a lot, and thank you guys for leaving me a comment. I really do appreciate you. I'll get back to you on that, and leave me a message on Facebook Messenger or Instagram messages and I will return your message. I love talking fishing, so that is a joy to me when I get to do that. So all right, we'll talk about a few situations where I think braid works really well around wood and where fluorocarbon works really well around grass. So lily pads, that is a place where if I am fishing a small bait, like a trick worm, 3/16 ounce weight, or a little stick bait or something like that, it's gonna be fluorocarbon because a lot of times you're gonna have bass that are staging or spawning around lily pads. And I want that bait to be sitting down there and just kind of milking it in the area. I'll be shaking it, just leaving it there. Anytime I'm fishing something slow on the bottom, fluorocarbon is going to be a better option. Now, if I am in really shallow water where I don't think the fish are seeing anything but the bait, let's say we're in 2 feet of water, I'm around big stumps, maybe some little sticks, I think braid is a better option because that braided line is not going to necessarily dig into stumps like it would a big laydown tree or bushes or something like that. If you're around big fish, you have a lot more control with braided line. And if they're not really in the presence of your line, 2 feet of water, you only have this much line that's in the water, I feel like braid is a better option. Now, when it comes to a big grass bed, if you're out in some submergent vegetation and you're slowly swimming a worm, maybe you're dragging a 10-inch worm or something like that, fluorocarbon 100% of the time. I've been with people, me and the guy are fishing fluorocarbon in the front. There's someone in the back that's throwing straight braid, and the person in the back with the braid catches nothing. I've also witnessed where we start our tournament, it's safe light. I got a speed worm rigged up on a braided line rod, and I catch a couple first 2 casts of the morning. That sun gets up, there's a little bit more visibility there, and I don't catch another bass the rest of the day. So I think anytime you're fishing slowly on the bottom, could be offshore grass, it could be around any bedding fish or something where they are really sitting there hunkered down looking at it, fluorocarbon all the time. Now, if I'm throwing a big topwater walking bait, something like that, braided line, frog fishing, braided line, punching mats, heavy vegetation, if you need your bait to cut through the grass to get them out, it could be reed heads, cattails, buggy whips, stuff like that, braided line always. A lot of times when you do fish those types of lakes, it's going to be a little bit darker water, but I'm not necessarily going to go out on the limb and say that bass can see the line, but they can feel a presence. Now, all those lines reflect water different, light differently rather, and there's a time when I just think that they can feel it. Now, braid may look like grass. You may think it's a more natural offering, but I don't always necessarily think that's the case. I feel like they can feel that. They know it's attached to the end of the bait that they're looking at, and when they get that false, this isn't real, they typically don't bite it and swim away. So I think that's very important. If those fish cannot feel it and get around it, maybe you're flipping a 1 ounce jig where it's just darting by their head and you're getting reaction strikes, then braid all the way. But there are times when it's slow moving, like a Cinco or something, fluorocarbon, and lighter the better when you go with fluorocarbon. Your bait's going to fall more naturally. It's going to be a lot more appealing to the fish, the lighter the fluorocarbon. So when we go into Cincos and stuff like that, as much as I would like to throw 20-pound fluorocarbon because I'm fishing around some wood and stuff like that, it's all about lighter fluorocarbon. 15-pound, you're going to get 10 times the amount of bites on 15 than you would on 20 when you're Senko fishing. But I think that's very important. The rate of fall, how natural, and just the overall feel. So try that, guys. Good luck to you, and I'll see you on the water.